I can create a template, but I'll choose empty one. Now I click on the bot entry and see this admin front end of the bot itself. This tab, flow, is probably the main one. It contains the visual flow of the bot. So I'll create a small bot here just to show you the features of the Botpress. So in order to add some behavior, I need to press this button and press somewhere on the page to add another node here. Also, there is a default node that I can edit. So if I double click the node, I see such an interface. I can press plus and add some behavior here. So I can either add bot saying something or make bot execute some code. So let's make our bot say something. I want to add some message, so I need to press this button, select the content type that I want the bot to send. I'll select text. Now I can search for some existing text to reuse, but there is no text to reuse. That's why I create new one. So let's say the bot will say hello. I add hello here, press submit, press add action, and now this behavior saying hello is added. I can add more text here, for example. Oh, sorry, there is some non-convenient thing in the interface of creation of the text. I usually start typing the text here, but this is only the search for some existing texts. So in order to create a new one, I need to press this create new text. Okay. So I've added one more action. I also can add some image, for example. I'll download some image from the internet. And I can add image display here. Say something, press here, press image, create a new image, and choose an image from the disk. So these several steps of content creation is actually a useful feature of the Botpress. I'll show it a bit later. They have a content management system here in the bot. Okay, so here is an image. I can close it and see these three actions within the entry are added. Also, I can add a transition to some other node. For example, I can select the second node and say that the flow always makes transition to this one, to this node. Okay, and I see this connection being displayed here. You can name node customly, for example, like this, and I can ask a question. For example, say, how are you, to the user. Okay, then I can read user input into some variable. So it happens here in on receive tab. Okay, I press plus, select execute code, and choose an action of set variable. So in order to set variable, I need to fill these three fields. Select the type, basically the object to be filled. So I want to fill some variable within user. Select the name of the variable to be set. Let's say, how is he? And set the value to be set here. So you should know some built-in variables that exist within the Botpress. I know them. So for example, I can use event payload text here. It means that the text of the last user message will be set in this how is he variable. Okay, I add this section, and now I can save the flow, and try it in the conversation window here. When I send something to the bot, it will trigger the default flow. Okay, it asks me, how are you? Fine. Okay, and the flow is ended just because there is no other connections here. We can make it more complex. So I can, for example, ask not about how are you. I can edit this text, pressing this. I can, what's your name? Okay, I can ask user's name. Okay, update action. So what's your name? And change an action. So I'll read not user, but not user how is he, but user, let's say, nickname. And still take it from the payload text. Okay, and now I can display the name of the user in the next message. For example, I can create a message like, it's nice to meet you, username. User nickname. Okay, so the action is added. Let's see how it works. So I need to save the flow in order to see the update in the chat window. Okay, hello, blah, blah, what's your name? Let's say John. Nice to meet you, John. So it works. As I've said, there is a content management system built in the Botpress, and it's also an advantage of the Botpress in comparison to other platforms. You can manage the content separately from the flow. So I'll see all the texts created here. I can change these texts here. For example, if you have a chat designer and let's say copywriter or translator who knows the language, the copywriter can focus on this tab only and improve the texts. And images are also displayed here, and there are some other content types available. And you can add content from this tab. Okay, let's get back to the flow. I want to show you one more good thing in the flow editor that is named choice skill. Skills are basically the extensions of the editor, like some additional nodes that can be used to design your flow. And choice is used to split the flow into several branches. Okay, I can create a new choice. For example, how are you? And add several options like fine, with the value fine. These message and value things are used for the following. Message is what is displayed to the user, and value is what the bot receives. Okay, so I can add more buttons pressing this green plus. Okay, so I've created the choice. I press insert and now press somewhere on the flow, and I see this choice created. We have three outputs here, like when user picks fine, when user picks bad, and on failure, like when user enters some other value. Okay, I can make a transition. Let's say always transition to the new node. Oh, sorry, always. Okay. So here we are. The transition is made. I can loop the failure to the node itself, but there is one trick that if I try to loop it directly, it doesn't create a connection. So I can create, I can make a hack here, create a new node, and make an always transition back to the how are you? Oh no, sorry, it's not to how are you, it's to choice. Okay. Yeah, it works. And connect on failure here. So it means that if there will be some other value picked up by the user, the bot will repeat the question. That's how it works. And yeah, let's fix the naming. I can rename the node here. Name. Let's say it will be called name, and this will be how are you. Okay. And then I can add some more nodes for the two options. Let's say if user selects good, I can say super, also good. And let's say the flow will end here. And bad. And some other message. Okay. It's done. Let's try. Oh, I need to save it. Okay, fine. Also good. Okay, I can start the flow again. Okay, you see it works. Also, you can create new flows here. So there is a default main flow in there, and you can create, for example, good flow. And continue the good branch in this separate flow. Let's say I'll, for example, say something positive to the user. Okay, I've added the message. Now I need to edit it. Many people are happy nowadays. Okay, just to show you the idea. Okay, so I've created the node here. I basically could use this one, but I've created a separate one. That's actually okay. I can just make a transition. That is good too. Okay. Super. Now I save this flow, get back to the main one, and I can make a transition from this node to another flow. It happens, it works like this. Okay, select always and transition to subflow. Select good flow. Wait, okay, and this will trigger the good flow. Let's try it. Oh. You see it works. Also, Botpress server provides an easy ability to add some custom behavior to your bot. Let's say you want to, let's provide a simple example, read a number that user will give and multiply it by 2 and display it to the user. Okay, so I can implement it as following. I can add a text asking a user to write a number. Okay. And then I can read the number into some variable. I can read it into some variable and then pass it to some custom code. So that's what I'll do. Okay, I'll use set variable. Now I'll use temp type, just some temporary storage for the variables that will be destroyed when the flow ends. And it's okay for me. Okay, there will be a variable source number, and I'll use event payload text again to set this variable. And now I want to multiply it by 2, and there is no pre-existing action for this. And I want to add a custom one, and it's pretty easy to do. That's what I'll do. I'll go to the Botpress server folder, go into data, bots, into my bot, and into the actions folder. Then I'll create a JS file here. So I'll go into, okay, save, dump the same folder. And I'll just write my code here. Okay, I'll rename the file to have GS extension. Okay, and let's see if Botpress finds it. So it should be displayed here. Oh, sorry, execute code. Yeah, I see multiply by 2 action. It's pretty simple. And then I can set several variables that my code will use. But the code is really simple. It uses the already set variable, temp source number. That's why I'll won't pass anything here. There is one more thing here. I set this destination number value, but I will not be able to read it if I implement it like that. So in order to be able to read it, I need to add temp dot prefix here to write the value into some variable within temp object. Okay, so I'll multiply the number by 2, and now I'll display the result into a user message. Okay, so the resulting number is, so I used these double brackets to inject variable into the message. Okay, and let's see how it works finally. It won't work because I haven't connected the flow. Okay, I'll make and I'll make this connection, save the flow, and now restart the conversation. Okay, it works, and the action was added really in a few minutes. Now I want to show you the understanding module of the Botpress. So we have intents and entities here. I'll show you how intents work. So intents are some willings that user have, and Botpress can identify them using this module. Okay, I'll create an intent named rename. That will mean a willing of the user to change his name. Okay, so I've created these phrases that will help Botpress to train its machine learning model to identify the phrases. Basically, you can add more phrases here to make the understanding more accurate. Then I'll get back to flows and create a node that will handle the renaming. Okay, so it will ask for the new name. Okay. Then on receive, it'll read user input into the corresponding variable. So the input will be taken again from event payload text. Okay, here is the action is added, and now the bot will tell the new name to the user. Okay, here we are. So the node is created. I'll save it. Now we need to connect the intent with this node. It's implemented using the flow properties. Flow properties are like flow-wide things that exist within the flow. You can open flow-wide transitions by clicking this link. So here are transitions, and you can add a transition when the intent is renamed to our renaming node. That's how it created. And we see that the counter increased. And now we need to make a transition from this renaming node to somewhere. We'll make an always transition to the previous flow to the calling node. So to the node that was executing before this. Okay, save. Let's see how it works. Okay, I'll start a new conversation. Now I can write rename me. So the Botpress bot changed my name and returned me to the node that was executed before to this choice. This works, and this is pretty good feature. The understanding works not like perfectly. For example, it can identify or rename my brother. Let's see how it works. Yeah, as the same intent. So you need to train your understanding pretty carefully in order to get the desired behavior. Anyway, it's a cool feature and you can use it. Then Botpress has emulator. It's a kind of debug console that provides you with an additional information on how the bot makes its decisions. For example, you can see the information in JSON format here that represents what happens. For example, response is what Botpress sends to the user, the array of messages. Then there is an object representing understanding and LU. Currently, there is no decision to be made, so the object is empty. But if we'll repeat our experiment with the changing the name, we'll see this information in the NLU. Like we'll see that the input was rename me and the intent was rename with this probability. So you can use this emulator to debug the behavior of the bot. There is also the state object with several sub-objects here. For example, it contains user with the nickname, contact session, and temp. And there is some information about the decisions. Then there is one more useful module named Q&A, which helps you to easily add questions and answers to your bot. For example, if user will ask what's your name, then bot will say bot. And you can provide several options of how this question can be asked, and several answers of how bot will answer. Answers will be selected randomly. So that's how it looks like. You can add more questions here. Okay, so the questions are saved. Let's see how it works. Let's start a new conversation. So currently you can see that my word bad has triggered the rename intent. This is the inequality in the Botpress behavior. So now I can use the Q&A module, for example, asking, what's your name? I'm bot, so it works. The Q&A works only if there is no currently active flow. For example, if I'll restart the conversation, started, and write, for example, what's your name? Bot will take my response as the response to his question. And there is an analytics module built in. It shows some statistics on how your bot is used. So there is information on the number of users. And here's some additional statistics. And the good thing is that Botpress has these retention statistics also. Other platforms that we have reviewed provided only information about the users, but not the information about the retention, which is also a plus for Botpress. And I want to show you one more thing of how new modules can be added to the Botpress. Actually, the basic Botpress server that you download from the website already goes with some additional modules that are not enabled by default. So you can find the config of the Botpress in data global folder is named Botpress config JSON. You can open it, and here in the models folder you can find several model entries. For example, here is one for analytics, some more, more. And here is the HITL model, which means human in the loop. I'll show it to you. I can enable it here, save it, and now try to see if it works. So I'll restart the server. I'll refresh the page, and I see this new tab here, HITL, appeared. And basically, HITL provides you with an ability to interfere with the user instead of your bot. See how it works. Start a new conversation. And in a few seconds, I'll see this conversation in the HITL model. Here is it. And I can disable the bot behavior and start talking to the user from the as if I was a bot. So I see, as a user, I see this message coming from the bot. Okay, I see user response, and I can continue the conversation. So there is no cool interface for models enabling for now, but it's still pretty simple to enable them. Finally, I want to say that in the Botpress documentation, there is a description of how you can deploy the Botpress server into Heroku, and it's pretty simple, and you can do it within 15 minutes easily, which is cool. The server is supported by the community. You can visit the GitHub page of the project. As you see, there are 79 contributors, a lot of releases, a lot of commits, and commits are happening almost every day. So it's pretty cool, pretty active repository. We have reported several issues, and the team responded to us on the next day, which is also cool. So we recommend you to review the Botpress and use it, contribute to it. Thank you.